هسيبك بقى اتفضل. الدكتور اللي بيعمل النيجر اللي هو tapping on the patellar tendon. This will cause stretch of quadriceps muscle and the contraction of the quadriceps muscle. The contraction of the quadriceps muscle due to its sudden stretching by tapping on its tendon by the hammer is accompanied by relaxation of which muscles? لو تصل هنا عملت ممكن اعمل tapping on the tendon of the biceps muscle in the forearm. This will cause flexion, contraction of biceps, and the flexion at the elbow will be accompanied by relaxation or inhibition of the triceps. يعني اللي عايز اقوله الحقيقه انه the stretch reflex shows and accompanied by reciprocal inhibition, which means that the contraction of the stretched muscle is accompanied by inhibition or relaxation of its antagonistic muscle, and this is very important so as not to interfere with the contraction of the stretched muscle. كيف حدث this reciprocal inhibition? The reciprocal inhibition occurs as the afferent fiber coming from the stretched muscle in the gray matter of the spinal cord will give this part, will give a collateral branch. This collateral branch will end and stimulate inhibitory interneurons. The inhibitory interneurons terminate on what? On the motor neurons supplying the antagonistic muscle, causing inhibitory postsynaptic potentials in these motor neurons. And this will cause inhibition or relaxation of the antagonistic muscle. يبقى the pathway، عايز اسالك سؤال، the pathway هعيده تاني، the pathway for the reciprocal inhibition that accompanies the stretch reflex، مش عايز اقول النيجاتيف ولا كده، حاجه مونوسينابتيك ولا بوليسينابتيك؟ واذا كنت دقيق جدا هتقول انه اسمه باي سينابتيك، لان هو مش في امر ولا في ثلاثه. ف the reciprocal inhibition for the stretch reflex occurs through a collateral branch from the afferents coming from the stretched muscle will end or terminate on inhibitory interneurons, and these inhibitory interneurons will end or synapse with the alpha motor neurons supplying the antagonistic muscle. The inhibitory interneurons inhibiting the alpha motor neurons of the antagonistic muscle, causing its relaxation. الافرنس لهم زيهم زي اي افرنت والايفرنت والستيمولس. ايه تفتكر اللي انا هبدا اتكلم عنه؟ اسمهم ايه الريسبتورز دول؟ muscle spindles. Muscle spindles are type of mechanoreceptors, and they detect increase in length of muscle and they detect rate of increase in the length of muscle. يعني ايه الكلام ده؟ كلام غلط. يعني افرض عضله شدناها تتشد بس the rate of increase كان طولها كده بنزود الطول بنزود rate of increase. Then this increase is maintained. فthey detect the rate of change in muscle length, and they detect the maintained increase in muscle length. وضحت ولا لا؟ يعني this is the length of the muscle, basal length. The muscle is increased in length. Then the increase in length is maintained. They detect this rate of change or rate of increase in muscle length, and they detect the increased muscle length. They are length detectors. The muscle spindles are mechanoreceptors يتعرفوا على rate of change in muscle أثناء التغيير في المسل, and they detect increased length in the muscle. This is the muscle. There are many This is a muscle. These green are muscle spindles. There are many in each muscle. And the number of muscle spindle in each muscle يعتمد على type of movements done by this muscle. In muscles which perform fine movements as muscle of the hands, the number of muscle spindle is great. Or the number is extensive or great. And the muscles which perform gross body movement as muscles of the back or muscle of the trunk, just to bend تعمل ايه تبني trunk كده او كده, these are gross body movements. The number of muscle spindles are less. The muscle spindles are present in the fleshy part of the muscle, يعني in between the muscle fibers. They are not present in the tail. The muscles, these are one of the muscle spindles. The muscle spindle is spindle shaped or fusiform shaped structure. Capsulated, يعني محاطة by connective tissue capsule. And inside the capsule, there is a special type of muscle fibers. جوه الكبسولة دي نوع من مختلف، نوع من المسل fibers. They contain about من 2 ل 10 muscle fibers. And these fibers, as they are found inside a fusiform structure, fusiform ده اللي هو شكل ايه؟ الكبسولة. They are called intrafusal muscle fibers. يبقى دلوقتي المسل spindles are fusiform or spindle-shaped capsulated structure that contain a special type of muscle fibers. This special type of muscle fibers are about 2 to 10 muscle fibers called intrafusal muscle fibers, and they are less striated than the ordinary contractile skeletal muscle fibers. وبالمناسبة يبقى نسمي المسل فايبرز ادي ده مسل سبندل، نسمي المسل فايبرز العاديه الكونتراكتايل اللي درستها السنه اللي فاتت اللي عملت اكسيتيشن كونتراكشن كابلز تسميها ايه؟ اكسترا فيوزر مسل فايبرز as they are found outside the fusiform structure of the muscle spindle. The intrafusor هدي بقى عمق شويه للانترافيوزر ماسل فايبر. ده واحد من الانترافيوزر ماسل فايبر، واحد من هنا دول. The intrafusor muscle fibers are pointed on point, and they are parallel to the extrafusor muscle fibers. محطوطين بالتوازي كده مع بعض. And they are characterized by وتاخد بالك من المعلومة دي by the middle third الثird المتوسط of the intrafusal muscle fiber does not contain actin and myosin and thus the middle third is non-contractile. خلاص؟ The outer thirds يسموهم equatorial أو outer thirds of the intrafusal muscle fibers شايف محمد خططتهم لك اهو. They contain actin and myosin and they are contractile. خلاص الكلام ده؟ The intrafusal muscle fibers are two types of intrafusal muscle fibers. The nuclear نوع اسمه nuclear bag intrafusal muscle fibers and the second type is called nuclear chain intrafusal muscle fibers. يعني ده nuclear bag. This is the nuclear chain. النيوكليار باك دول موجودين فين دول؟ intrafusal muscle fibers, structure of the muscle spindle inside the fusiform capsule of the muscle spindle. The nuclear bag are about 1 to 3 in each muscle spindle, and the nuclear bag are long and thick. And they are characterized by having a central dilatation. حاجة كده مكعورة. Characterized by having a central dilated part which is full of many nuclei. عشان كده سموه ايه؟ nuclear bag. The second type of intrafusal muscle fibers are called the nuclear chain intrafusal muscle fibers. And the nuclear chain intrafusal muscle fibers are about 3 to 9 in each muscle spindle. The nuclear chain intrafusal muscle fibers are thinner and shorter, أرفع وأقصر عن مين؟ And they lack يعني ما فيهمش. They do not contain the central dilated part. And they have nuclei which are arranged in a row or in a chain in the central part of the nuclear chain intrafusal muscle fiber. واضح الكلام؟ كل ده زي العارف اللي بيأسس عمارة بس مش عمارة اللي بتقع، ها؟ بيأسس عمارة لما بعد كده، لو تحسوا ايه ده بسيط. خلي بالك من كل كلمة. أنه جزء من الانترافيوزال ماسل فايبر كان كونتراكت. وأنه جزء كان كونتراكت. The intrafusal muscle fibers أنا بس هقول لك معلومة قبل ما أقول الانترافيوزال muscle fibers. The motor nerve of the extrafusal muscle fibers.
ألفا موتور إيه ألفا؟
أيوه مين بيقول الكلام الجميل ده؟ أيوه بس علي صوته. The alpha fibers, the extrafusal fibers are supplied by the alpha fibers لو ده 50 مرة which are thick myelinated from 9 to 20 micron in diameter, and they conduct at a rate of 100 meters per second, and they are axons of the alpha motor neurons اللي موجودة فين؟ And these constitute the motor nerve supply to the extrafusal muscle. The intrafusal muscle fibers شايف صغيرين قد ايه؟ لك الانترا المسل سبندل دول many in each muscle. The intrafusal muscle fibers هم دول nuclear bag و nuclear chain have their own nerve supply. The nerve supply to the intrafusal muscle fiber. قلت لك outline وهوري لك رسمه جميله توقع. They are supplied by sensory or afferent fibers. ليهم sensory fibers supplying them. ومعنى sensory يعني these will carry impulses to
spinal cord.
They have sensory or afferent supply, and there are two types of sensory or afferents. The one type is called the group 1A fibers أو اسمه primary afferents. الافرنت الثاني طالع منه is called the group 2 afferents أو اسمه secondary afferents. هحط لك بس عشان نحط الاوتلاين ونبقى فاهمين احنا بنتكلم. They have their own motor nerve supply. شوية صغيرين دول ليهم their own motor nerve supply. ايه الموتور nerve supply بتاعهم؟ They are supplied by gamma efferent fibers. gamma efferent fibers. ايه الجاما efferent fibers وانا هكلم لك عليهم تاني وبالتفصيل. الجاما efferent fibers are axons. دول axons لtype of neurons, small motor neurons موجودة in the ventral horn of the spinal cord, which are called the gamma motor neurons. The axons of the gamma motor neurons اللي موجودة في الفنترال horn of the spinal cord near the alpha motor neurons will form the gamma efferent fibers, which supply the intrafusal muscle. بعد ما عرفنا نشوف الرسمة عشان كده كان واجب ان انا احط الاوتلاين. عرفنا النيرف سبلاي دلوقتي كده نظريا. Intrafusal muscle fibers are supplied by sensory or afferent fibers, and there are two types. There are two types of afferents for sensory fibers. The group 1A afferents كان اسمه ايه ده؟ Primary. Number 2 group 2 afferents اسمها ايه؟ ده sensory supply اللي طالع منها وداخل السباينال. And they have نمرة 2 motor nerve supply. يعني a motor nerve coming from the spinal cord and supply the intrafusal muscle. ايه الموتور نيرف ده؟ كان اسمه ايه؟ جاما ايه؟ جاما افرنت فايبر. انا هتكلم عنه، هو تفتكروا ان الكلام انتهى حديث لك. اكسونز ايه؟ جاما موتور. عايشه فين؟ ساكنه بين الجاما موتور بالفنترال. ساكنه مين جيرانها؟ مين الاظهر؟ الالفا ولا الجاما موتور؟ Gamma motor neurons are smaller size than the alpha. نتوقف دلوقتي ونشوف ايه الموضوع. دلوقتي
انا ما عملناش حاجه خالص.
بقوله ده مطلوب منه. The primary afferents are thick myelinated fibers 16 رقم 1 16 micron in diameter, and they conduct at a rate of 120 meter per second. The primary afferent اللي هو الازرق ده راح فين؟ ده. The primary afferents end by wrapping يعني يتلف، or by encircling يعني يعمل لفات. By wrapping or encircling the central part of both the nuclear bag and the nuclear chain intrafusal muscle fibers. And these endings اللي هي wrapping of the termination of the primary afferent على central part of the nuclear bag and the central part of the nuclear chain عشان ملفوفة كده بيبقوا شكلها كده زي بحاجة بتلف. They are called annulospiral endings. Annulospiral endings. All called primary endings as they are the termination of the primary. الأحمر ده secondary afferents or group 2 afferents. The group 2 afferents are myelinated or thick, 8 micron in diameter, 8 micron in diameter, and they conduct at a rate of slower conduction. طبعا ليه conduct at slower conduction؟ They conduct at a slower conduction than the primary afferents. And the primary afferents terminate by endings on the central part of the nuclear chain intrafusal muscle fiber only, and these endings look like a warda, look like a flower. That is why these endings are called flower spray endings or secondary endings. And these endings are present only on the nuclear chain intrafusal muscle. خلاص الكلام ده؟ طيب أي afferents هيروح فين؟ Both the center، يعني لو حطيت عنوان وتبقى كده عايز منظم في عقلك، the central connection of the primary and the secondary afferents. Central هيروح فين؟ Both the primary and secondary afferents will enter the posterior root of the spine, and then to the spinal cord. And in the spinal cord دخلهم واحد احمر واحد. In the spinal cord some fibers، some من الفايبرز بتاعته will pass through the gray matter of the spinal cord to terminate directly and monosynaptically on the alpha motor neurons of the muscle in which these spindles are present. يبقى دول عملوا ايه الاثنين دول؟ دول ايه هنا بقى؟ الرسمه دي تشكل ايه من هنا؟ بالظبط ده اللي هو انت فاكر حطيت لك كده وقعدت مش عارف ومتحير ايه ده؟ فده الافرنس اوف ذا ستريتش ريفلكس اللي هو جروب 1 A جروب 2. Enter the gray matter of the spinal cord, terminate directly and monosynaptically on the alpha motor neuron of the muscle. نمرة 2. The other fibers، fiber دخلت جوه الجراي ماتر اوف ذا سباينال، هتلاقي كل الكلام ده، تلاقي في وسط كلام وهتحوس ويجي لك سؤال مالتيبل تشويس لعدم فهمك تلاقي نفسك مش عارف.
ليه كده بس على اول انا لسه بقول
And some fibers will pass upwards in the spinal cord. طلع ايه؟ احمر والازرق. هما primary afferents و secondary afferents. They pass upwards to the spinal cord to reach the brain. And روحوا فين في البرين؟ Some fibers will pass to the cerebellum through spinocerebellar tracts. And other fibers will pass through the gracile and connect عشان تروح فين؟ تروح للسنسوري كورتكس. علشان تعمل ايه؟ To give information about the length of the muscle and the position of the limb. يعني انا تاني ايدي كده العضله دي شكلها طولها ايه؟ muscle spindle راح من خلال دول وصلت يبقى الديجري اوف بند كذا درجه كده لينس الماسل سبندل ستيموليتد مور كده. يعني عايزه اقول لك مش بس عملت ريفلكس ستريتش ريفلكس، لا الدنيا ما تقفش على كده. and at the same time the fibers will ascend upwards through the spinocerebellar tracts to reach the cerebellum to give it information about the length of the muscles and the position of the limb, and pass upwards through the gracile and connect tracts to the sensory cortex علشان تدي the conscious awareness إحساسي وإدراكي الواعي about the position of the limbs and the sensory. ده motor supply. ده intramucosal مش معروف انك تسيبه؟
لا
ايه؟
مولود
موتور سبلاي بتاع مين؟ موتور سبلاي
انترا
بتقدروا كلام لو ركزتوا 2 minutes وتنطلقوا. ما ركزتوش اوعوا تفتكروا لما هم الكلام ان شاء الله هكمل. The intrafusal muscle fibers are supplied by motor, special motor fibers, which are called gamma efferent fibers. The gamma efferent fibers are axons of gamma motor neurons. Adi in the ventral cord. The gamma efferent fibers are myelinated fibers, يسموهم gamma لأنهم axons of the gamma motor neurons, and they are myelinated 4 micron in diameter. And they supply the intrafusal muscle fibers. There are 2 types of gamma efferent fibers. في نوعين من الجامma efferent fibers. One gamma efferent fiber, ادي نمرة 1, is called the gamma dynamic efferent fibers. And this terminate on the peripheral contractile end of the